Hey everybody, I'm Alex Martin. I am the author of the new adult science fiction novel Embassy. Embassy is just a story about a guy who is obsessed with this girl who lives across the galaxy, and it's basically his quest, going on this journey to find her again. But along the way he discovers that, there might be more to life than just trying to single-mindedly find this girl. And he is opened up to a lot more of opportunities and experiences. And so basically I just wanted to read the first chapter of this, and I might read more chapters later depending on if I have the time. So that's the cover, that's Embassy. I actually am working on the edits for the sequel right now, so those will be coming along. Those are on my website. You can follow me on most social media. I'll post all the links below. So here goes. April 15th, Undalian time, standard year 4319. A small metal box is propped up on the front of the podium everyone is looking at except me. I can't bear to. Instead, my eyes are fixed on the projection beside it. Father's picture. He's younger in this picture than he actually was, but only by a few years. His neat black hair is combed up, swished to one side, and a proud grin tugs at his mouth. His jaw is taut. He looks eager to embark on another journey. Even his eyes shine, dark brown and still so full of youth. Those eyes watch us, my mother, my toddler twin sisters, and me, the last person to see him alive. There's a row of seats behind the podium, and beyond those, the desert. Funerals are normally held inside the city's council chambers, but too many people showed up. Thousands. Arrangements had to be made out in the sweltering heat and constant, dusty wind. My eyes already itch, and the funeral hasn't even officially begun. A man stands from one of the chairs and walks to the podium. General Orcher, father's supervisor and the owner of the Undil Embassy's greatest space fleet. His dark gray uniform hangs stiffly on his shoulders. Gold buttons run up the middle of his uniform, and the cuffs on his sleeves, glinting in the sunlight. Ambassador Lance was renowned for his dedication to the embassy program, Orcher says, trying to keep his eyes trained on the crowd. I can't tell if he's blinking a lot because of the wind, or if he's holding back tears. He made sacrifices few men would make. Though we remain as the program's youngest embassy, it is because of him that we have flourished so greatly these last 3 decades. Orcher pauses. His eyes focus on me, my face goes rigid, and I drop my gaze. We've never formally met, though whenever Father was home, which wasn't often, he'd tell me about Orcher, his resilience to the standard structure of station crews and expeditions, how he crossed a new frontier in the embassy program's core mission of interplanetary codependence. That's what I loved most about Father. He rarely spent time in Cornell, the rather unimpressive city I call home. But whenever he did, he'd tell me the stories, his adventures around the galaxy. And on every expedition, he created a portfolio of whatever planet he had visited. I spent countless hours poring over pictures of gray mountains and colorful forests and rivers and trees, beautiful windswept fields, blue oceans, puffy white clouds. Undo has none of that beauty. There are no trees or mountains or clouds. There is an ocean, but it's on the other side of the planet. I've never felt the rush of a river or watched over the world from the top of a mountain. Undil is a desert, and I've been stuck in Cornell my entire life, looking through the hazy air at the distant mesas, wishing I could escape. Sometimes a hovercraft will fly in from the embassy, or Graywall Industries, where I work in archiving, will receive a large order for station thrusters. Otherwise, the most fun I have around here is playing Hologis in Cornell's small arena, but my friends stopped inviting me to the tournaments. A gust of hot wind blows through, and I squeeze my eyes shut. When it settles, I hear the end of Orcher's speech. I'm proud to say that I might have the chance to welcome Ambassador Lance's son, Armin. He looks at me again, into the embassy this summer. His legacy will live on. Orcher steps back from the podium and holds his hands at his sides. He stands in place for a few reverent seconds before bowing and returning to his seat next to Lieutenant Victoria Hoffman, a young woman who works in his crew. The seat on his other side is empty. Another man stands and approaches the podium. It's Jarvis Gantz, a middle-aged Narvidian ambassador. He was touring Grey Wall on the day Father died. They were friends, but I'd never heard about Ambassador Gantz until he showed up in secondary embassy studies with Officer Banner to announce a special visitor, Father. That was a little bit more than a week ago. I didn't know Father was back in Cornell, so his return came as a surprise. He had been gone for 2 years, assisting in an emergency on Belvoon, one of the most beautiful planets in the galaxy. Belvoon's desert is destroying it, slowly eating away at the planet. The embassies of Undil, Narvid, and Dalyona are all aiding Belvoon, trying to reverse the collapsing ecosystems. When I joined the embassy program, that is, if I'm selected as a recruit, I'm going to board the first expedition to Belvoon, but not because I want to save the planet. Because of a girl named Ladia Purnell. We Narvidians have a saying, Ambassador Gantz begins. He has a harsh accent, one native to his home planet. Daral Ravams. In Standard, it means, we are revealed at death. I witnessed the truth of these words when Connor visited his son last week, for I saw a tremendous love etched on both their faces. I stood by, admiring the reunion, yet never realizing how soon tragedy would fall upon them. Just like Orchard did, Ambassador Gantz fixes his eyes on me. Last week, he was driving back to Cornell's docking terminals, and I was driving Father home. As we went our separate ways, he waved goodbye to me. I waved back, and then a car slammed into mine. Father died on impact. My deepest and most sincere regrets go out to both families, Ambassador Gantz continues. First, of course, to the Lances. Connor influenced many of my own colleagues, and his expert treatises brought Narvid and Undil closer than ever before. Second, I extend my condolences to the Kirkland family. To my left, a woman breaks into a fit of tears. It's Miss Kirkland, one of the nurses in Cornell's tiny hospital. Mr. Kirkland was driving the car that hit mine. Their son, Colin, is 6 years old and has been hospitalized for most of his life. The loss of any father and husband unnerves even the toughest hearts. I have a 9-year-old son, Grayson, and can only imagine how devastated he would be if something happened to me. Therefore, I'd like to offer compensation and aid to the Kirklands in the hopes that young Colin's illness will soon recede. Miss Kirkland chokes out a timid thank you. Some people clap while Ambassador Gantz returns to his seat. Then the air goes quiet. Sweat forms on the backs of my hands and neck, but I resist the urge to move. Even though the surgeons mended my ribs, they still ache whenever I twist my back. A third man stands, but he doesn't walk to the podium. Does either family wish to comment? Mother finally breaks down and begins to sob. My twin sisters, Erin and Flavia, are 3 years old and look terrified. I can feel the tears welling up in my eyes too. I shake my head to let the man know there's nothing I want to say, except that I'm sorry. Finally, I look at the little box propped up on the front of the podium. The Undil Embassy crest is engraved on the silver medal. Inside that box is my father, once the greatest man in the galaxy, reduced to ash. I can hear his last words, the words he spoke before I waved to Ambassador Gantz. She's all grown up now. He had chuckled. Told me she remembers you. Ladia Purnell, the girl from Belvoon. She visited Undil one summer, 4 years ago. We fell in love, and then she left. Despite the consequences, I never forgot her, not even when my friends told me I was being stupid and I'd never see her again. They made me angry, but I didn't need them. I still don't. Father had promised he'd take me to see her when we visited Belvoon this summer. Now she's all I have left. I need to pass the embassy placement report. I'll become a recruit, get my permanent assignment, and then I'm free. I'll board that expedition. I'll see Ladia. We'll fall in love, and I'll be happy. That is the first chapter of Embassy, the first of 31. There are 3 parts in the book. The recruits, the void, and the story. Embassy is the first book in a series of 4, is what I had planned. And you can read up about it on my website and anywhere else that I'm posting below. thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. You can grab it on Amazon. It's $2.99 as a Kindle and $12 something as a paperback, which is paperback. Some book blogs have done reviews. You can find those on my website. I'm on Tumblr, Pinterest, Twitter, Facebook, wherever you can find me, I'm there. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.